How you doing, everyone? My name is Chris Bullock. I'm CEO and founder of ClearGov. This is actually my third Mass Innovation Night, so thank you so much for having us back. I'm going to start out with a story. About 4 years ago, my wife and I were sitting around the proverbial dinner table, going through our finances, and I wanted to break everything down on a monthly basis, and one thing really stuck out to me. When I broke down my mortgage payment, I was really struck by I had no clue as to where my property taxes were going. It was a big bill on a monthly basis, and it just got me curious. I live in the town of Hopkinton, and I went to our website and I said, let me look into this. And I found that the town was actually being transparent. They did have their finances up on their website. It was about 150 pages deep in a 250-page annual report. And I learned two things. One was that they're very confusing. Now, I'm pretty financially astute, but there was a lot of terminology I didn't get. There was a lot of funds, transfer between the funds. But I think more importantly, there was absolutely no context to the data. And what I mean by that is I could very clearly see how much the town was spending on education, on police force. But I was particularly interested in how much how much debt the town had. The school system was looking to pass an article to build a new school to the tune of $42 million worth of debt. And so I naturally looked at the debt load of the town and saw that they had about $70 million worth of debt. Now, $70 million of debt could be a lot or a little, I just didn't know. If most towns have $10 million worth of debt, it's probably a good thing to take on another $42 million. If most towns have $500 million of debt, taking on another $42 million is probably not a bad thing, it's reasonable. So, that became the seed behind ClearGov, because I really felt that the towns weren't doing a good job of communicating their fiscal positions. Fast forward about 3 to 4 years later, my company ClearGov has gathered the finances of over 40,000 municipalities across the country. And we transformed these financials into really easy to understand infographics that not only show where the money comes from and goes to in every single government, but it actually compares the finances of every single town versus similar towns. We developed an algorithm based upon population, home values, commercial assessment, and proximity, such that you can compare the finances on any level to any communities. And this is available to any resident. So you can go to cleargov.com and you can type in your town and it will pull up your town's finances. So you may be thinking, well, that's pretty neat, Chris, but how do you make money? A lot of people ask us that. And it turns out, I'll say it nicely, that we live in a very interesting political time. You can imagine trying to run a government in an environment where nobody trusts you. Government trust is at an all-time low. You compound upon that social media, where anybody has a platform to have a voice, to have an opinion, and to spread misinformation. Governments are looking for a way to better tell and communicate their story in a way that's easily digestible and can promote trust through transparency. We also provide the governments with a very unique back office business intelligence solution. So I'll give you a story. One of our clients had a public works director that said, we need to increase our snow and ice removal spending by 20%. Even after a big snow year, that's a lot of percentage points. They can go into our database and say, show me all the towns within a 25-mile radius that have a similar population and a similar road miles that they need to plow. Our database finds the most 8 similar towns, and it shows that they spend actually 30% less than similar towns on a per capita basis to remove a similar amount of snow. That gives them the intelligence to say this is a responsible fiscal decision to approve that increase. So we are really, really proud to say that we are working with nearly 500 governments across 20 states to help them better tell their financial story and to, I think, just generally help make democracy work better. Our revenue model is a SaaS-based, it's a subscription service. So towns pay us anywhere from $3,000 to $30,000 a year based upon the size of the town's budget or the school's budget. We also do schools. And that is basically a model where they will take a banner, they put it on their website that'll link out to a fiscal transparency center powered by ClearGov. So they have access to this fiscal transparency center, also to our business intelligence benchmarking tools. We've also recently developed a budgeting platform. Most towns are budgeting using Excel spreadsheets, so we've built a really lightweight, easy to use web-based platform where they can collaborate on their budget together. And I'll say 1 out of every 3 towns in Massachusetts uses ClearGov, so you all should be pretty proud.
Ooh.
Another question?
So for those investors who like buying local, like a municipal fund, will your platform kind of provide some assistance to them, like get some insight?
Yeah, so your question is, do municipal bond buyers find value in this platform? And certainly yes. In fact, many towns are even buying this platform because it helps them get a better bond rating. One of the things that our budgeting platform does is we built it sounds really dorky, but an artificial intelligence platform to forecast out their spending over the next 10 years. And by providing that publicly, a lot of the bond rating agencies actually give them a better bond rating, which can reduce their borrowing costs and pay for itself.
Thank you.